Hello, it's Dr. Jenn here to, talk to you about having a good life, a good business, being grateful for what you have and the life that you're living, the business that you're building. One of the things that I see often with clients who are that I'm working with, or people who are thinking about connecting with me but are holding back, is they're in a state of gratitude, that they are grateful for what they have. They're grateful for their experiences. They're grateful for what they're living because they've learned, they've been told, they have a practice of gratitude. And we often hear that gratitude, having a practice of gratitude, can transform our lives. But yet there's a lot of people out there that engage in a gratitude practice and find themselves barely getting by or not getting by. They're struggling to make ends meet. They're struggling to take care of themselves, take care of their families. And yet they have this really strong, or they're consistently engaging in a practice of gratitude. Now, before we continue, I just want to say hello to everyone. If you're here, say hello. Danielle hopped on and she just said, I just had this conversation with Mom, and how if you're grateful, then it is okay. And how if you are grateful, then it is okay to ask for more. That's one of the things I'm going to talk about today. So if you're here, say hello. Let me know, that you're here. Feel free to ask questions and share comments because that's what this is all about. And feel free to share it with others that you think that this message would resonate with. If you're watching a replay, please post #replay so that way I know you saw the video. And of course, you can share it by clicking the share button with your whole feed. You can also click the address bar at the top if you want to share it with somebody who's not on social media. And that's really easy to do it well. You can send it in a text message. You can also send it through email. So if this resonates, please feel free to share it because we want this message to get out to everyone. So back to gratitude and the people who have really strong gratitude practices or consistent in some way gratitude practices, but yet they're struggling. Yes, yet they're hurting. And I know for myself, I was raised in such a way to be grateful for what I had. And as a result of that, how do I say this? I was content with what I had. I didn't know that I was missing out. I was really fortunate in that way, in the way I was raised, that even though others had more than my family, even though other kids at school had more than my family, I didn't notice it. I didn't realize it because we were raised in such a way to enjoy and experience what we did have. And yet, in doing that, I learned to be really content with having little, to be really content with getting by. And that's what I see a lot of people doing. And because of that, they're feeling like they don't deserve to even want more, to do anything more than dream of more. Hey, Gail, welcome. And that's where I feel, or it's been my experience, that gratitude can stop us from fully experiencing our lives in a way that's available to us. So one of the questions I'd ask you is, do you have a gratitude practice? And is that gratitude practice possibly keeping you where you're at? Because how do you have gratitude for what you have and gratitude when what you want is more? And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Often, the way I word things, I share my gratitude. I have gratitude for what I'm experiencing, what I have, and I will add a statement that says, and I'm open and I'm grateful for the opportunities that are coming to me, the opportunities I'm creating, those that I have yet to experience, that I'm about to. I'll word it in a way that says, yes, thank you for what I have, and thank you for all these other things that I will have. And I'm wording it in a way that I don't want to keep putting the possibilities in the future. So I talk about what I'm creating and what I'm experiencing and those new experiences, those new ways of being, serving, doing, as if they're here. So Danielle is saying, yeah, she used to do that. Now I'm grateful for what I have and for the things that I'm ready for. And I would add the things that are showing up, because we want to keep that in the present. If we keep talking about, oh, what's coming, what's coming, what's coming, it's going to always be coming. And this, to me, lines up also with when we have a good life. That where we look around and go, you know, I got a good life. I'm pretty comfortable. I have what I absolutely need. Especially when I look around or I look at the news and look at what other people, sometimes in my own community, are experiencing. Yeah, there's this battle that often goes on of who am I to want more? Who am I to go after more when I have so much more than others? And yet, it's often a goal or a dream, it's on my bucket list, of supporting our communities, supporting people in our communities, supporting our environment, supporting animals. We want to be able to do good, and we want to give money to these excellent charities out there, these excellent organizations that are doing good work, and yet we don't have it. So part of my question is, how does it serve us, and how does it serve others to be in that energy of, well, we've got it good? I see it as this block that we're not often aware of that keeps us where we are. It's not unusual at times for clients to start working with me once they've watched enough, once they've gotten to this place that, like, you know what? I do believe there's more available to me. I do believe there's opportunities. I do believe, or I'm beginning to believe, that I deserve these opportunities. And so they start this work, whether it's with me or somebody else, and then life moves to the next level in some way, and it's like, ooh, this is good. And then contentment and life being good wants to take over in a way that has us going, do we want to do more work, or do we want to settle with what we've got? Now, of course, settling is an option. People do it. I've at times have done it because while I might not be living my dreams, and sometimes that doesn't feel good at all on the inside, what I'd have to change, what I'd have to do, how I'd have to step outside my comfort zone isn't something yet, or wasn't something that I was yet willing to dive into. It was easier for me to have other reasons or excuses, I would say now, for staying where I was. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, I've got other things to focus on. Well, yes, I would love for that to happen, but I really need to do this instead. Yet we get so inspired by people who overcome these humongous challenges, whether it's where they were born and raised and traumatic experiences that they've had, or maybe they've dealt with some illness or injury and they've come back from it and not only survived but thrived in ways that doctors and others told them would be a miracle, but yet they do it. We get inspired by this. I know I do. I find myself in tears going, wow, the conviction, the intention, the motivation, and I would say the love for themselves to really live their life, that nothing is going to stop them. So I'm wondering what your thoughts are. Is having a good life, and I say it like that because I know my life is good in so many ways, and yet I have more dreams that I'm putting action into place today to create. So I'd like to hear from you what your thoughts are. Is being content sometimes your biggest challenge? Is being comfortable sometimes your biggest challenge? That you can ignore sometimes that feeling inside of you, in your gut, that feels a bit blah, because part of you knows and feels that pull to create and experience other things in your life than what you currently are. And it literally means stepping outside your comfort zone. I'm waiting to see if anybody has any thoughts on that before I go on. So my recommendation, what can we do? I often refer to it as get out of my own way. Because if I'm content, if I'm grateful for what I got, and it's going to be more uncomfortable for me to move in a new direction, to take new action, well, maybe I just want to stay here. Gail says, life is awesome. I find the older I get, the less I want. Neil says, absolutely. I feel like you are speaking right from my heart. Awesome. Awesome. And I would agree with Gail to a point that the older I get, I realize that maybe something I thought before was something I'd want, maybe now not so much, because it doesn't have the same level of importance. And yet it still feels really important to me to be able to donate a huge chunk of money to save our forests, to save our land, our national forest systems, our national parks from being destroyed. That is super important to me. And I don't want to get comfortable. I don't want to get comfortable in saying, well, you know what? I'm going to hope for the best. So what do I do? What do I recommend doing? Well, one, joining the Intuitive Phoenix Facebook community, because if we don't come together and support each other and ask those questions of, are you getting content and getting settled? And yet you say you want to experience this and you want to do this and you want to impact this. But I see you get comfortable and settled there. I do that. My dog does that. My cat does that. They get settled. So surround yourself with people who are going to call you on it, who are going to say something about it. 2, what routines do you have in place that you're checking in consistently with you? I had a group last night, and one of the things that one of the women said who was in attendance was, sometimes content is exactly what I need. Sometimes comfort is exactly what I need. And then my body and my being only wants so much of that before it's ready to move, before it's ready to be productive, before it wants to go enjoy something. And it's constantly changing. And being aware of how it changes is really important. So the other recommendation I would make today, and I did it for myself earlier, it's something that I used to do, and that is set an alarm on your phone every hour, repeating, for you to check in with you, to see how you're doing, to see if you're, well, as I refer to it, fucking fantastic. Are you in that energy? Are you in that mode of feeling good and in the flow, being connected, inspired, passionate? And if I'm checking in every hour, again, as you see here, then if I started to move away from that flow into open my head and what I got to do and not connected, I can get back to it. I can get back into that path, into that energy, into that flow, which is where I know creativity and inspiration and momentum and passion and motivation comes from. Where there's a sense of peace, where I'm relaxed. So that way I have available to me, not just my logical mind that's in survival mode, but all of me so I can thrive. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. So 2 recommendations. And I'd love for those who take these recommendations to let me know how they go. 1, set your alarm. Set your alarm. Check in with yourself regularly. It's going to make a difference. Because if your body says content, settling is exactly where I want to be every day for the rest of my life, awesome. And if your body is feeling, it's letting you know something's out of sync, it's out of alignment. It's out of alignment. keep me posted. Let me know how these recommendations work for you. And as always, I'm sending you lots of love and all things fucking fantastic. Again, got questions, got comments, post them below. Share this with others. Oh, and I will include in the comments the link to join our community, because surrounding yourself with people who are wanting to connect to themselves, to live their life in a way that feels good from within. It's where it's at. All right, everyone. Love y'all. Until we connect again. Talk to you later.